Hollywood's glitz and glamour might steal the spotlight, but behind the red carpets and flashing cameras lie stories that rarely make the headlines. In today's video, we're diving deep into the controversial, the whispered about, and the downright fascinating journeys of 18 famous actresses. Women whose paths to stardom weren't just paved with talent, but with rumors of hidden deals and powerful connections. We're peeling back the curtain to uncover the power plays, ambition, and untold truths that have shaped the journeys of some of Hollywood's most iconic actresses. You might think you've heard it all, but trust me, this goes deeper than the headlines. Let's dive in. Marilyn Monroe. The term casting couch originated in the early 20th century, referring to a practice where Hollywood executives leveraged their authority to influence casting decisions. During the studio system era from the 1920s to the 1950s, major studios like MGM, Warner Brothers, and the 20th Century Fox had significant control over actors' careers. Aspiring actresses, often new to Los Angeles, faced intense pressure to gain favor with powerful figures to secure roles, as labor protections were minimal and media outlets rarely challenged the industry's practices. This was the background for the events and occurrences in these stories. Behind Marilyn Monroe's radiant beauty lay a heart-wrenching struggle. Born Norma Jean Baker in 1926, Monroe grew up in Los Angeles foster homes, enduring neglect and poverty after her mother's institutionalization. At 16, she escaped a return to orphanages through marriage, later finding work as a factory worker during World War II. Discovered by a photographer, she became a model, signing with 20th Century Fox in 1946. Early bit parts in Dangerous Years, 1947, and Scudda Hoo, Scudda Hay, 1948, led to breakthroughs in The Asphalt Jungle, 1950, and All About Eve, 1950. In Anthony Summers' biography, Goddess: The Secret Lives of Marilyn Monroe, cited in Sky News, Monroe hinted at casting couch pressures, stating she spent a great deal of time on my knees to secure early roles. In Monroe's early career, she engaged in relationships with influential figures like producer Joe Schenck and studio head Harry Cohn, recognizing their power to open doors. Rumors also linked her to Daryl F. Zanuck, notorious for exploiting young actresses during Fox's casting sessions. When writer W.J. Weatherby asked about such experiences, Monroe acknowledged that many starlets face similar demands, but emphasized talent sustained her career. As a vulnerable 20-year-old in a cutthroat industry, these likely coercive encounters shaped her early path, reflecting the studio system's predatory culture. However, Monroe wasn't just a helpless player in the Hollywood system. One bold moment with Harry Cohn, the feared boss of Columbia Studios, showed her early strength. When Cohn allegedly invited her on a weekend trip aboard his yacht, clearly hinting at more than just business, Monroe quickly shut him down with a sharp reply. "Will your wife be joining us?" Cohn, who was used to women going along with his advances, was angry. Not long after, Monroe was fired from the studio. Still, she had powerful supporters. Joseph Schenck, a co-founder and top figure at 20th Century Fox, was key to her early success. Even after she stood up to Cohn, Schenck stepped in. He reportedly helped her land a small role in Scudda Hoo, Scudda Hay, and even convinced Cohn to give her another shot at Columbia after Fox had let her go. Marilyn Monroe may have been Hollywood's golden girl, but behind the dazzling smile was a woman worn down by constant objectification. Studio bosses, producers, and even the media didn't see her as a real person, just a product, a fantasy, an object of desire. No matter how much she wanted to be taken seriously as an actress, Monroe remained stuck in the sex symbol role that Hollywood had built around her. The emotional toll was deep. Fame brought her heartbreak, not just applause. She battled depression, turned to substances to cope, and lived out her personal life under a microscope, including 2 highly publicized marriages to baseball star Joe DiMaggio and playwright Arthur Miller. All of this was layered on top of early exploitation that had already left scars. When she died in 1962, at just 36, the world mourned. Her death remains one of Hollywood's great tragedies, not just because she was gone too soon, but because it exposed the darker side of the spotlight. Still, her legacy lives on in the unforgettable performances she left behind. Judy Garland. Judy Garland, the beloved star of The Wizard of Oz, entered the studio system at a tender age, signing with MGM when she was just 13. Her prodigious talent was undeniable, but her youth made her incredibly vulnerable to the relentless pressures and predatory demands of Hollywood. By the time she was 16 and filming her iconic role as Dorothy, she was already heavily addicted to drugs. Substances studio executives reportedly supplied to control her weight and sustain her through grueling 18-hour workdays. Her own mother, Ethel, was allegedly the first to provide her with pills for energy and sleep. Beyond the physical and psychological control, Garland also endured persistent sexual harassment. Biographer Gerald Clark's biography, Get Happy. The life of Judy Garland details numerous romantic propositions from MGM bosses. Most notoriously, Louis B. Mayer, the powerful co-founder and head of MGM, allegedly subjected her to repeated advances. Clark wrote that Mayer would tell Garland she sang from the heart while placing his hand on her left side. He also reportedly held meetings with the young woman seated on his lap, his hands on her chest. In addition to these disturbing behaviors, he is said to have made suggestive remarks about her figure when she was just 14 years old. At just 16, Garland refused a producer's explicit demand for personal compromises, an act of resistance that placed her career at risk of blacklisting, as reported by the Detroit News. Mayer's fixation on young female stars created a climate of fear and control, where any defiance was met with punishing work hours or humiliating public reprimands. MGM's grip on her life extended beyond professional boundaries. The studio enforced a strict regimen of amphetamines to keep her weight down and barbiturates to help her sleep, practices that tragically sowed the seeds of her lifelong struggle with addiction. Garland's resilience shone in her Oscar-nominated performance in A Star is Born, 1954, and her legendary 1961 Carnegie Hall concert. Yet, the trauma of her teenage exploitation, compounded by addiction and failed marriages, led to her tragic death in 1969 at 47. Her story shows the vulnerability of child stars in Hollywood's ruthless power structure. Shirley Temple. Could even America's sweetheart escape Hollywood's predators? Born in 1928, Shirley Temple was a phenomenon, her dimples and curls charming audiences in Bright Eyes, 1934, and Curly Top, 1935. Signed to Fox at 3 years old, she became the studio's savior during the Great Depression, earning a special Oscar at 6. Her wholesome image defined childhood stardom. In Anthony Summers' Goddess, Temple recounted a harrowing 1940 incident at MGM. She was a mere 12 years old when this studio executive allegedly unzipped and exposed himself to her. The producer in question was reportedly known for his adventuresome casting couch. Temple, innocent of male anatomy, reacted with nervous laughter, a defense mechanism born of confusion rather than amusement. In response, the producer abruptly threw her out of his office. Temple's encounter left her shaken. No specific role was tied to this event, but it exposed the pervasive danger young actresses faced in an industry that prioritized profit over protection. Her mother, fiercely protective, shielded her from further harm, but the incident showed systemic failures. Temple transitioned to diplomacy, serving as a U.S. ambassador, and passed in 2014. Her courage in sharing this story, rare for her era, helped expose Hollywood's dark side, advocating for safer environments. Her experience reveals the industry's betrayal of its youngest stars. Joan Collins. Dame Joan Collins, a titan of stage and screen, faced the stark reality of Hollywood's transactional nature when vying for one of the most coveted roles of her career. She was reportedly the frontrunner for the lead in the epic 1963 film Cleopatra, having tested for the part twice. The stakes were incredibly high. This was a role that could define a career. In her memoir Past Imperfect, Collins revealed she lost the lead in Cleopatra, 1963, after refusing a Fox producer's proposition. He told her, "Be nice to me and the part's yours," but she declined, tears in her eyes, as reported in Variety. The role went to Elizabeth Taylor, career-defining moment for another star. Collins' refusal cost her a historic opportunity, but her determination led to a prolific career, including stage work and producing. Her dynasty success, earning her a Golden Globe, and 2015 damehood reflect her resilience. Collins' stand against coercion inspired future actresses, proving talent could triumph over compromise. Helen Mirren. In a 2007 TV interview, acclaimed actress Helen Mirren reflected on a troubling moment of wheat from early in her career. Mirren, who rose from London's theater scene to international fame and won an Oscar for her role in The Queen, 2006, recalled a 1960s audition with director Michael Winner. During the audition, he asked her to turn around and show off her body, a request she described as insulting and sexist. While not an overt romantic advance, the incident mirrored casting couch culture's demeaning expectations. Mirren's refusal to comply didn't derail her career, but it showed the casual misogyny actresses endured, often disguised as professional necessity. Her early roles in Oh Lucky Man, 1973, required navigating such environments. Mirren's later triumphs, including a 2015 damehood and roles in The Last Station, 2009, proved her talent transcended such hurdles. Her outspokenness on gender issues helped shift industry norms. Her story reveals the subtle yet pervasive pressures actresses faced, even in the modern era. Megan Fox. In 2000s Hollywood, rising stars often faced intense scrutiny and pressure, and Megan Fox was no exception. Known for her striking beauty and fearless attitude, she quickly became a cultural icon for a new generation. But with her breakout roles in Transformers, 2007, and Jennifer's Body, 2009, came challenges. As her fame soared, so did the obstacles from being typecast and hypersexualized to facing backlash for speaking out in an industry that often punished outspokenness, especially from young women. In a GQ interview cited in the New York Times, Fox described enduring casting couch seat early in her career, expressing disillusionment when revered directors made inappropriate advances instead of professional offers. While she didn't tie specific roles to these incidents, her comments, echoed in Variety's harassment coverage, suggest coercion shaped her pre-Transformers auditions, including minor roles in Bad Boys 2, 2003. Fox's candor exposed the persistence of predatory behavior despite industry reforms. Her career faced challenges, with public scrutiny and typecasting overshadowing her talent. Yet, roles in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 2014, and her 20s resurgence show resilience. Fox's openness empowered others to confront similar experiences. Her story illustrates that even in the 21st century, Hollywood's power dynamics remained a formidable barrier. Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow, known for her elegance and versatility, became a Hollywood favorite after rising to fame with Emma, 1996, and winning an Oscar for Shakespeare in Love, 1998. But at the height of her early success, she found herself standing up to one of Hollywood's most powerful figures, a bold move that revealed both her strength and the hidden power dynamics of the industry. In a 2017 New York Times interview, Paltrow disclosed that Harvey Weinstein summoned her to his hotel suite at 22, touching her inappropriately and suggesting massages, which she refused, as cited in Variety. He threatened her to stay silent, per The Guardian. A 2018 lawsuit falsely claimed Weinstein bragged about sleeping with her to secure her roles, which Paltrow denied. These rumors, designed to intimidate others, highlighted the industry's weaponized gossip. Paltrow's early encounter likely occurred during her 795 casting period. Her career flourished with Iron Man, 2008, and her founding of Goop, redefining her as an entrepreneur. Paltrow's Me Too activism, pivotal in Weinstein's downfall, reshaped Hollywood's accountability. Her story showcases the power of defiance and the courage to speak out. Angelina Jolie. Born in 1975 to actor Jon Voight, Angelina Jolie seemed destined for fame. With her striking presence and undeniable talent, she quickly made her mark, winning an Oscar for Girl, Interrupted, 1999, and becoming a global sensation in Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, 2001. But what struggles shaped the woman behind the spotlight, the humanitarian icon the world would later admire? In a 2017 New York Times interview, Jolie revealed that Harvey Weinstein made unwanted advances during a hotel meeting early in her career, which she rejected, as cited in the New York Times. She refused to work with him afterward, warning others about his behavior, per The Guardian. These incidents, possibly linked to her pre-Gia 1998 roles in films like Hackers, 95, reflect the predatory environment she faced as a young actress, as noted in Variety's coverage of Me Too. Jolie's firm boundaries preserved her autonomy. Her humanitarian efforts with the UNHCR and roles in Maleficent, 2014, solidified her influence. Jolie's Me Too disclosures amplified calls for reform, proving her commitment to justice. Jennifer Jones. In 1941, a young actress named Phyllis Isley had a fateful audition with David O. Selznick, a heavyweight producer who, just 2 years prior, had delivered the cinematic masterpiece Gone with the Wind. Selznick, known for his obsessive need for control, was immediately captivated by her. He signed her to a contract and, soon after, transformed her identity, changing her name to Jennifer Jones. What began as a professional mentorship quickly blossomed into a complex personal relationship. By the time Selznick cast Jones in The Song of Bernadette, 1943, the film that would catapult her to stardom and earn her an Academy Award, the two were lovers. This Pygmalion relationship, as Selznick's interactions with actresses were often described, reveals a form of exploitation where a powerful executive not only demands intimacy but actively seeks to create and control an actress's entire persona and career trajectory. Jones's career remained inextricably linked to Selznick's influence. While she achieved great success under his guidance, her film work slowed to a trickle after his professional influence waned, and he eventually retired. This showed that continued executive patronage was often essential for sustained stardom, and without it, even an Oscar-winning actress could see her career diminish. Natalie Portman. Born in 1981, Natalie Portman debuted in Léon, The Professional, 1994, at 13 and won an Oscar for Black Swan, 2010. Her intelligence, honed at Harvard, and acting prowess set her apart. During the Me Too movement, Portman told The Guardian she faced inappropriate advances from producers early in her career, though she didn't specify roles, as cited in Variety. These encounters, likely during auditions for Star Wars Episode 199 or Anywhere But Here 99, reflect the coercive atmosphere she navigated. Portman's ability to set firm boundaries, supported by her family, protected her, but the experiences shaped her advocacy for gender equality. Her roles in Jackie, 2016, and founding of Time's Up cemented her influence as a feminist voice, exposing Hollywood's hidden pressures and inspiring reform. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford, born Lucille LeSueur, transitioned from a chorus dancer to an Oscar winner for Mildred Pierce, 1945, showcasing her dramatic intensity and star power. Crawford rose from humble beginnings as a nightclub dancer and chorus girl to become one of the industry's most enduring stars. Her ambition and drive were legendary, and she learned early on how to navigate the complex and often predatory landscape of the studio system. She was acutely aware of the unwritten rules for survival at certain studios. She famously stated that, at Fox, if you were not romantically operational, forget your career, referring to Daryl F. Zanuck, the powerful head of 20th Century Fox, who loved to sample the goodies. Crawford also had a memorable encounter with Harry Cohn, the infamous head of Columbia Pictures. When Cohn made his move, Crawford reportedly shut him down with a sharp, public-facing retort. "Keep it in your pants, Harry. I'm having lunch with Joan, his wife, and the boys, his children, tomorrow." Regardless of this bold move, Crawford was not immune to the studio's pervasive control over personal lives and scandals. MGM's fixer, Howard Strickling, allegedly arranged Joan Crawford's abortion in 1931. At the time, she was married to Douglas Fairbanks Jr., but the father was widely believed to be Clark Gable, with whom she was having a torrid affair. Historical rumors, noted in Quora and The New Yorker, suggest Crawford had relationships with directors like Clarence Brown and stars like Clark Gable to advance her career. She allegedly appeared in early adult films, expunged by MGM. Crawford's fierce ambition navigated a system where women's options were limited, but her choices fueled public scrutiny. Her legacy, marred by Mommy Dearest after her 1967 death, remains complex. Crawford's resilience built a career, but her story reveals how rumors shaped Hollywood's narrative of female ambition. Clara Bow. Clara Bow, the original It Girl, was the quintessential flapper of the 1920s, becoming one of Hollywood's first true sex symbols and the preeminent leading lady of her era. Her rise from desperate poverty to cinematic stardom was nothing short of miraculous, and she viewed movies as her salvation. However, the very image that made her famous became a tool of intense exploitation. Bow's romantic life, including her numerous broken engagements and alleged multiple partners, was relentlessly publicly scrutinized and served as fodder for Hollywood gossip. Executives, eager to capitalize on her sensational appeal, were trying to exploit her as much as possible, even to the extent of an assistant spreading scandalous pamphlets about her relationships. The relentless pressure and exploitation took a severe toll on Bow's mental health. She experienced breakdowns throughout the filming of her talkies, and the celebrity scrutiny combined with the lingering traumas of her upbringing contributed to her unraveling mental health. At just 28 years old, she retired from acting in 1933, unable to cope with the demands. Bow's public image as a loose woman led to her 1931 breakdown. Struggling with mental health, she died in 1965. Louise Brooks. Born in 1906, Louise Brooks was a silent film icon known for Pandora's Box, 1929, and Diary of a Lost Girl, 1929. Her bold bobbed hair and defiant spirit made her a cultural phenomenon. Ranker and Pop Matters suggest Brooks navigated casting couch pressures to secure roles, though she despised Hollywood's culture, per The New Yorker. Her refusal to kowtow to studios, as noted in Variety, led to blacklisting after she left Paramount for Europe. These encounters, likely coercive given her disdain for executives, marked her brief Hollywood tenure, including The Public Enemy, 1931, precursor roles. Brooks retired in 1938, later gaining cult status through film preservation, and died in 1985. Her defiance inspired feminist cinema, challenging Hollywood's norms. Her story illustrates the steep price of resisting industry exploitation. Vivien Leigh. Vivien Leigh's affair with Laurence Olivier, a married director, began during Fire Over England, 1937, suggesting early career compromises with influential figures, per The New Yorker. While not a studio executive, these dynamics reflect the pressures she faced. Her Scarlett O'Hara role followed years of British theater struggles, possibly involving concessions to powerful men like producer Alexander Korda. Leigh's mental health challenges and 1967 death overshadowed her triumphs. Her story highlights how personal relationships often blurred with professional ambition in Hollywood's high-stakes world. Tallulah Bankhead. Tallulah Bankhead, a Broadway legend before her role in Lifeboat, 1904, was often portrayed as boldly embracing her sexuality, with rumors of affairs with producers and actors to secure roles. But, as Pop Matters notes, the studio system's coercive grip suggests these choices were often survival tactics. Her steeped in CX image, as described by Sky News, gave her power, but also boxed her in, limiting her film career and anchoring her legacy to the stage. Bankhead's 1968 death left a legacy of defiance and controversy. Her story explores the complex interplay of agency and exploitation, reflecting Hollywood's double standards for women. Next, a bombshell molded by Hollywood's desires. Jayne Mansfield. Born in 1933, Jayne Mansfield was a 1950s sex symbol, starring in The Girl Can't Help It, 1956, and Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter, 1957. Her blonde allure and playful persona rivaled Marilyn Monroe's. Mansfield's affairs with producers and rumored ties to Anton LaVey suggests casting couch encounters fueled her career. Her hypersexualized image, crafted by studio demands, likely involved coercive situations. These pressures, evident in her Fox contract roles, defined her fleeting stardom, overshadowed by publicity stunts. Mansfield's 1967 death in a car crash ended a turbulent career. Maureen O'Hara. Maureen O'Hara was a Technicolor queen, known for The Quiet Man, 1952, and Miracle on 34th Street, 1947. Her Irish spirit and radiant beauty captivated audiences. Historian reports O'Hara faced negative rumors for refusing casting couch advances, though she later married producer Charles F. Blair, per Variety. Her resistance to executives' propositions, as noted in The New Yorker, led to professional obstacles, including battles with studio heads like Daryl F. Zanuck. Yet, her talent secured a lasting career, including collaborations with John Ford. O'Hara's legacy endured until her 2015 death, inspiring actresses to stand firm. Her story showcases the strength to defy Hollywood's coercive culture, preserving her dignity against all odds. Mallika Sherawat. Mallika Sherawat rose to fame with Murder, 2004, a Bollywood thriller that redefined sensuality in Indian cinema. Her bold image challenged conservative norms, earning her international attention. In a Hindustan Times interview, Sherawat revealed facing casting couch demands, shocking director Mahesh Bhatt, who praised her resilience. Male actors and producers propositioned her, expecting favors for roles, as noted in Variety's global harassment coverage. Her refusal to comply during Murder's casting sparked controversy but solidified her as a trailblazer, per Sky News. Sherawat's Hollywood ventures, like Hiss 2010, face similar pressures. Her advocacy for women's rights and ongoing career reflect her strength. Sherawat's story proves that casting couch pressures are a global issue, transcending cultural boundaries. These women's strength, whether in speaking out or surviving in silence, helped reshape Hollywood. Their stories force us to reflect. Has the industry truly changed, or does exploitation still exist in quieter ways? Thanks for watching. If one of these stories moved you, let us know in the comments. Which moment hit home the most? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more powerful stories from behind the scenes of Hollywood.